Oh my God, what the hell is this? He's gonna try it! And will this be enough? My God,
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Ruckus Wrastlin. I am Josh Maber, alongside my tag team partner in this journey, Justin Toner. We feeling better? Feeling better?
Yes, I'm finally feeling better. Looks like my cold turned into a slight case of bronchitis, but I got some meds at the beginning of the week, and they've finally kicked that crap to the curb. I'm feeling a lot better today.
All right. Well, that's
and looking forward to talking about what's happened this past week, because these are interesting.
Yep.
Shows.
We've got title changes, promos that are great that go over. We've got unnecessary violence when it comes to wrestling. We'll get into that, whether or not it works or it doesn't. And then build to WrestleMania and how it's going so far. Speaking about that, people started freaking out today on the internet because Alexa Bliss was reported to be pulled from as said would not be at WWE World, and then people immediately started to panic and say that Alexa Bliss will not be on WrestleMania, which is two different things. Okay, WWE World is like, you just go in there, you sign autographs, all the other stuff.
Yeah, it's about it's meet and greet, autograph signings and everything.
Right. She posted something. She posted a GIF of.
Yeah.
From friends basically saying, relax, it's fine.
Yeah.
So she's responding to it. But, which kind of brings me to the thing of people are saying, oh, they brought her back when they weren't supposed to bring her back just so they can just not use her on WrestleMania. And people were thinking, the Wyatts are just cursed if you're involved with anything with the Wyatts. All these craziness is because it's kind of been a slow news portal as far as the past couple weeks. So now the dirt sheets are grasping at straws for something.
Really, it's like there isn't any major news on what's going to happen on the shows. Really, I mean, we're on the road to WrestleMania, and but we still don't have. And we'll talk about it. We don't have a lot of outside of the big four title matches that have already said. Although one is probably going to be turning into a triple threat after what's been going on Raw lately. I think that's pretty much guaranteed. But outside of the top two men's titles and the top two women's titles, we have no idea of any other matches for WrestleMania yet. And let's see how many weeks away we are. We are 4 weeks away.
Yeah, we're
a month away from Mania.
Yep. 19th and 20th is April 19th and 20th, and it is March 20th. So there you guys go. Little over a month because there is a 31st in March.
Yeah.
So I mean, technically it's a little bit out of it,
but the 19th and the 20th, and
technically it's a month away from the 19th. There you go.
Yeah.
For those people really want to get down to the brass tacks on it. We got 4 weeks, and which brings me to, as of right now, we only have 4 confirmed matches.
Yeah.
Which was we have Charlotte, Tiffy.
Mm-hmm.
We have Jay, Gunther.
Mm-hmm.
You now have a triple threat. Well, not officially, but
it's pretty much going to be. Yeah, it's like it looked like it was going to be Rhea Bianca, but then Io beat her for the title. It looked like it was Io Bianca, but they're making it pretty clear that it's going to turn into triple threat. So right now it's still technically Io Bianca, but it's probably going to be triple threat with Rhea put in with what's going on, and then the
John
big
Cena
and Cody title match.
Now, of those 4, as far as how the builds, I'm just grading builds.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they've only nailed one of them, which is Cena.
Oh Cody. Cena Cody.
I mean that one. It's not going to be hard to nail it, but man, have they?
Well, the heel turn pretty much got people like, okay, now we got something going on here.
Right.
With the Cena heel turn.
So with that one, we'll kind of go line by line just to make a little fun discussion since it's a short news week. So
I'm liking the triple where it's going with the triple threat with those 3 ladies. Tiffany, Charlotte, and Jay Gunther, they need a little bit more.
They need a little, yeah.
They need
It's
a little
because
they're getting there though.
The Jay Gunther, and people are starting to like. Did you see where you still can? There was a metric because Wrestle Talk put it out there that there's still a metric where you can actually look and you can actually still thumbs down. And I think the match with Austin Theory got like 18,000 thumbs downs or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, just people are starting to not care so much for that match. I think it's because they kind of already know where it's going, and the build is like, and they've been using also like A-Town Down Under and the Alpha Kids or whatever they're called, Alpha Academy. What are they called now? They changed the name like 4 times. It feels like.
Yeah.
But just they've been doing like Gunther and Jay have been going through like using them while also feuding. I don't know. If it wasn't for them having that title match already, him winning the Rumble and then getting the title match again so quickly, it just kind of lost its mustard. But it didn't make it. It still, I still love that Rumble, and I'm still glad Jay won. I just knew they had an uphill climb because you already saw it so recently. With the Cena Cody, some people are saying that Cody has to have like the best heel of them all to make his match. I'm like, no, you don't, because people. It hadn't even been a year yet, guys, and people said, "F you, Rock. We want Cody." Did everyone forget that? That's how over Cody was. But they wanted to see Cody finish his story and defeat Roman. So then they pivoted. It was one of the best WrestleMania builds, and still going to be a WrestleMania we talk about for years to come. Then you have the unprecedented heel Cena, and Cody is matching him as of right now. Now they didn't have like a back and forth or anything of that nature, but you still had Cena and Cody still feeling like it's a money match. There's no like you haven't booked someone to be way bigger than what they are. Like that's the one thing, at least with these 4, I don't know where you could go with it, because it doesn't seem like one's been built as like this super mega power like Rhea Ripley was. Once Io defeated her, she cut that promo of her being vulnerable. Now you can actually buy into the triple threat with that. So that's kind of how I feel about these 4 matches so far. And then obviously once we get into the actual reviews, then we can talk about other builds that they might do. But those are just the confirmed that we have. You were talking about your triple threat. Where do you think it's really going to start taking its stride? Now, is it now that Rhea's finally signed on the dotted line and we get that stuff, or
I think it'll get made official by next week. With what happened with the contract signing, we'll get into that in more detail when we get to Raw. But that whole exchange, it's like I like where that build is going with the 3 ladies. They're doing a great job with that. What happened on SmackDown with Tiffany and Charlotte was definitely a step in the right direction.
It was
for their match.
That was really good.
It's just the repetitiveness of the Jay Gunther stuff. They need to do something a little different.
Yeah,
to spice things up with that.
That's what happens when you already got your match this build has been going on for more since the Rumble, and then you had 6 weeks to build it up again, and it's hard. It's hard to do.
It is. So with only 4 weeks to go, they got a lot more matches to set up here. And we still got tag team title matches to figure out, and the mid-card titles. Although I think unless they do it on Raw, we could be seeing Braun Penta for the IC title at Mania. Because that depends, I think, what Penta does at Mania depends on if Rey Fenix is going to debut before or after Mania.
The thing is Rey's going to be on SmackDown.
Well, that's what it's looking like, and we'll talk about that when we talk about the 2 teasers we saw, because it definitely looks like
I have no prop here to do the coffin race. I can't do it, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I missed that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it looks like there's more than one person maybe coming to SmackDown soon, with the teasers we saw last week. So, so we're just gonna have to wait and see. they got a lot more stuff to fill out.
Yeah.
Although I think the other one that's unofficial that's looking like it's heading that way is another triple threat: Roman, Punk, and Seth Rollins. And we'll probably get a more clear idea tomorrow night on SmackDown, because they're all going to be on the show tomorrow night, and it's probably going to get rowdy.
Yep. Yeah. And I'm still interested because it's Roman, Punk, Seth, and those three can make money out of a paper bag. But it just feels so like, I guess we'll just put you three together. It just feels like that. It feels.
I get that, but with what's happened, I mean, they wanted Seth and Punk was supposed to happen last year,
right.
But injuries to both derailed that. Although Seth was still able, although a bit hobbled, was still able to perform at Mania, which is still incredible. But, when Punk went down with the injury at the Rumble, that threw a lot of plans out the window last year that they wanted to do. But throwing in Roman, it's an interesting recall. I mean, it's like, but it kind of makes sense because just like we'll talk about how things are more clear with Priest and McIntyre. That goes all the way back to Mania last year. And also, Seth and Roman haven't had, outside of that Rumble match a couple years ago, they haven't been in each other's orbits very much for a while until last year when he had Cody's back, going after him for the title. So he's still going to be bitter about that because that was a big moment where he chose to hit Seth in the back with the chair instead of Cody. And that ended up being his fatal mistake and why he lost the match. And then between that, that's probably in the back of his mind. And then, of course, what he did to him at the Rumble with the stomps, it's like I think Roman has finally had enough of Seth's BS and wants to settle things between them, which is they haven't had a proper really blow off to all the stuff that's going on between them over the years, really.
Right. I did see, and it's always interesting to see. I like the little clips sometimes I find where Kevin Nash finally talks about certain big things. And It's always nice for his perspective because it's most of the time it doesn't make sense to us, but he looks at it on a much more psychology level, like because him and Scott always travel. And Scott, if you ask anyone of the clique, Scott was he was the genius of how to book a match and the psychology of it. And they asked Kevin about, and of course, Kevin did book WCW, so he has been a booker, even though his booking was questionable, whatever. Still was a booker on a major promotion. And they asked him about Cena's turn, and he was talking about his tan. So, like, when he came out, he was still pasty white. I was like, okay, probably going to turn. You know how Kevin's. I'm not going to do it. I'm trying. Just
about it.
Yeah. So anyway, but he was basically like it felt like he was like he wanted to comment on it, but he was kind of over it. But he had to talk about it. But he was more ticked off about how the Elimination Chamber, the finish, was the psychology of it was like they put out Seth. Seth sits there for 4 minutes.
Yeah, it was a bit much. I do agree about that. That I think they should have gone to that finish a little bit quicker because it was kind of if you think about it, it was a little silly that Seth was still in the ring that long, and that like the referee were like, you are eliminated. You need to leave the chamber now.
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah. That's what I was like. Okay,
that's a valid point.
But he was, it's like he didn't answer the question on whether or not Cena should have gone heel. He did obviously back saying that Hogan was a bigger thing. I'm like, yeah, you're part of it.
I saw the clip. I was like, oh, okay, whatever, because everyone's had their opinion.
Yeah, but I was interested on that comment about he was like you Seth's in there for like 4 minutes, like what you pin him and get him out of there technically like part of the match, and they just didn't. I was like, okay, But he was like, whatever burger about Cena turning heel. The only thing he commented on was saying that people were saying it was bigger than Hogan. He was like, no, it's not. And I was like, yeah, of course. Which is fact. We agree with him on that. Now, obviously, he's going to be biased about it because he was part of it. So, of Of course, he's going to say it's a bigger thing. I mean, it is. It changed the landscape of professional wrestling. So I'm always doing that. Any other news? You want to go over TNA real quick?
Oh, one other thing. I don't know. Did we talk about Lex going into the Hall of Fame?
No, we didn't. I'm glad you brought that up. Lex is officially going to the Hall of Fame. They had a video. He was sitting there with DDP. Cody comes in and basically, says congratulations. And Lex is going is DDP's a saint when it comes to helping the older guys keep health and all that stuff, because you put your body and you do a lot of substances.
Lex is still in the wheelchair, but he can stand up now on his own 2 feet, which is amazing. So if he can do that, he might be able to regain some mobility and not be stuck in a wheelchair for the rest of his life. He's been in a wheelchair for quite a while now, ever since that I think it was a heart attack or something like that left him.
I thought it was a stroke.
Yeah, it was a stroke that probably due to all the complications from all the drugs that he took quite a while there.
Yeah, he did, and he got real emotional when he was talking about Miss Elizabeth, and he said, he's like, I didn't kill her, but I didn't help.
Yeah, there's plenty of people that are always going to hold Miss Elizabeth's death over Lex's head, because they were together at the time. They were a couple, and they were both doing the drugs very heavily.
Right. And,
she OD'd at his place while he was there. And a lot of people blame him, and that's understandable.
Mm-hmm.
And he talked about it. I'm glad he was willing to talk about it in the interview with Van Fleet, saying, he knows that, he didn't kill her, but he still carries guilt that he could have been better and done better for her to prevent that from happening, because he was, they were both, they were both not in a good place at the time.
No.
And,
no, they weren't.
And it was not, I think it was, I don't know if it was that or it was after the heart attack that he finally got himself cleaned up and found religion, got saved, and it's like, and Sting, one of his closest friends, had a big reason to do with that. So,
and they're trying to get. I don't think it's going to happen, but they are trying. They are trying to get Sting. We'll see. Yeah. But
look,
yes, the rumor is.
This is what I'll say on this: the only person who should be inducting Lex into the Hall of Fame is Sting, because of everything, how tied their careers are together, as both allies and enemies. I mean, it's like people joke about how many times did Ric Flair and Lex Luger stab Sting in the back in WCW, but they are real life very, very close, and he's the one that makes the most sense out of who's still around that should induct him.
Right
now, of course, the concern is that he is under a Legends type contract with AEW right now.
Right.
So would that prevent him from appearing at the Hall of Fame to do the induction? Even if it technically maybe does, Tony Khan should not be a douchebag and prevent Sting from doing this. If it's real simple. Tony Khan, if there's any kind of possible legal issues about the contract that would prevent him from making that appearance, Tony Khan should okay it with Sting. It says, hey, Lex and them have asked me to be there. Is it okay? And he should say yes. Because if he says no, he's a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
I'm not going to mince words. If he does that, he's an asshole.
Yeah.
And he's going to be a petty asshole.
Yeah.
Because Sting should be there for Lex.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. And then we've got obviously Triple H. Gosh dang it, Michelle McCool, and who's the tag team?
Well,
they haven't officially announced that, have they?
Not official yet. Word is that the natural disasters, Earthquake and Typhoon, are going to go in. In a recent interview, Typhoon himself, aka Tugboat, aka the Shockmaster, hinted that he had gotten the call about it. So it looks like that's Russell Votes and others put that out there. So that looks like that's going to happen. It's just they haven't made an official announcement yet. And Russell Votes just put out another tweet apparently today, indicating that the other person they're looking to put in is Kamala.
Yeah, even if you just posted that.
Yeah,
saying Kamala too.
Yeah. So it looks like they're also looking at putting Kamala into this Hall of Fame class.
Okay.
Now, I'd be fine with that. Kamala was a cool character from, it's like my era that I grew up with in wrestling. I remember Kamala quite well. He was quite the character. It's like he's very, very well remembered wrestler from that era. Natural disasters, that's a little borderline as far as like tag team. But if it puts Earthquake, John Tenta into the Hall of Fame where he should be, I'm okay with that. The one missive that I'm missing, I'm wondering, it's like, if it's not this year, it better be next year, is Demolition. It's like Demolition really deserves to go in there.
Didn't they just put them on a Legends contract?
That's what the scuttlebutt is. So, and that should be a no-brainer. So, we'll see. It's like
they were like the dudes.
I think they keep it at 5, and also, Psycho Sid would also be nice as a posthumous induction.
Mm-hmm.
But that would maybe be up to the family, because like maybe they want to let the family grieve a little bit, like with the Rotunda family. Obviously they're going to put Bray in the Hall of Fame, but they're going to wait until the family is ready to handle that kind of emotional day. It's like by having Bray go in, which is eventually going to happen. But obviously, they're waiting more probably on to Mike Rotunda and the whole family. It's like, are you okay with doing this? It's like, so maybe they're holding off, maybe for respect for Sid's family. Who knows? But I thought that was going to be a possibility. I thought that him and Demolition, I thought were sure possibilities, but it doesn't look like it. A little puzzling, but Sid, I could understand. The Demolition one, I'm just not sure about, unless like I know, and sometimes it's up to scheduling. Like Batista's talked about that they want to put him in the Hall of Fame for the last couple of years. It's just that with his his acting schedule has gotten in the way of being able to be available for the ceremony. So, I mean, Batista's going to happen, and it's been a scheduling issue. It's like, I think they're close like a few years ago, especially when they were in LA, but just didn't work out. So,
speaking about post, have they done Eddie?
Oh, Eddie's in there. I'm pretty sure Eddie's in there.
I thought he was. I don't know when they inducted him though.
I think it was posthumously, not long after. I think a year or so after he passed. I can double check.
Okay. I know they did, but I just didn't know when they did it.
I'll look it up real quick.
And while you're looking that up, and just because this was before I got into it, but like Demolition was like the tag team, and then the Legion of Doom came in after them, right?
Oh yeah, Demolition came into existence after the Road Warriors were
Road Warriors. Okay.
Although they were not some kind of like Road Warrior whip-off, like Legion of Doom rip-off, like that one was a little bit more. Powers of Pain were a little bit more of a rip-off of them than right. Demolition. It's just with the face paint and everything, and it's like the look. It definitely there's definitely like the comparisons, but Demolition wasn't meant to be Road Warriors rip-off, at least as far as I know. I could be wrong.
And do they have the record for the longest like reigning?
They had the longest tag team title reign until it was broken by the
Usos?
New Day.
Oh, the Usos. Was it Usos or is it?
No, the New Day broke it first, and then the Usos broke that record.
Okay.
When they were unified tag teams.
Right. Just knew they had them forever as well.
Let's see.
But yeah, I don't think. I mean, I could be wrong.
Let's see. I almost found it.
I'd play that video. Well, I'll play it. No, I can't play the video. We're good copywritten of the one that Jordan posted.
Yeah, Eddie was inducted the year after he died, 2006.
Okay. I figured they did, but I don't. I'm just trying to think of just that just made me think on there. But yeah, Batista is the one that they've been wanting to put him in forever. He's just, he's a busy guy with his acting career, so it's a little tough for him to get all that stuff to do that. So good there. I'm trying to think of any other of the old guard that I could think of that they still haven't done yet, and I can't remember. Anyone off the top of your head?
No, there's probably some that I can't think of. I mean, like Lex was definitely one of the bigger ones that people wondering if he was ever going to go in before he got that was announced this year.
Yeah. I can't remember. But, oh well. All right. Well, while you are looking that up, you want to hit you from yesterday? Talk about SmackDown.
Let's talk about TNA sacrifice from last week real quick. Like so there was a couple interesting happenings from their little mini pay-per-view special last week. It's like I caught some of it. I was out early in the evening. I went to see the Looney Tunes movie, The Day the Earth Blew Up. But by the time I got home, the show was still going on. So I caught some of the matches in between certain points during, SmackDown was going on. Got the Cora Jade Master Slammers match. That was pretty good. Pretty wicked spot where she Kitty destroyed Slamovich on the apron. That was pretty rough looking. Cora put up the best I've seen her in quite a while in that match, even though she lost. Ash and Heather by Elegance finally won the Knockouts tag team titles from Spitfire. And then the Men at Four pairing, Lash Legend Shakira Jackson, showed up and obviously making it clear they want next. And then the other big development was there was the big 10-man cage match at the end of the show. The bunch of baby faces taking on a team up of the System with the Colones. The baby faces won, but the big shocker, which kind of hinted at, but it was like, oh wow, okay, was Nick and Ryan Nemeth went heel. They locked the cage and beat the ever-loving crap out of Matt Hardy. It's like Joe Hendry, Elijah, I forget who else kept trying to climb the cage and they kept getting knocked off. Finally, Jeff Hardy came out and they finally bailed. They showed the aftermath after the show went off the air. It's like Matt bled like a mofo to sell the heel turn. So interesting developments, and it's like they're definitely pushing the TNA partnership, and there's more crossover. I mean, the JC Jane attacked Slamovich while she was having words with Tessa Blanchard on tonight's Impact. So obviously she's the next NXT star trying to dethrone Slamovich. But Tessa Blanchard, I wonder what she's going to do, because the NXT women are going to keep getting her way, because she's clearly gunning for knockout style shot. It's not no surprise. It's like eventually that was going to happen after she came back. So we'll see where that's going to go. But not bad from what I saw.
Okay.
The Mike Santana Mustafa Ali match was really awesome. That feud is, I like what they're doing with that feud. That's the good stuff between those guys.
Those are two solid.
Yeah, those guys are awesome
workers. So not worry about that. I'm just surprised Mustafa hasn't done anything with the NXT at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Like Mustafa versus Javon Evans.
I know he's open to it. So we'll see. I mean, there was a funny bit. Chavo Guerrero Jr. Showed up tonight. He was hanging out with AJ Francis. He did a funny bit he brought up Dominic, and he's like, the jury's still out on whether Dominic is actually Guerrero. I mean, although his mother did get around, and he was real good. It's just like,
that's funny.
That was very funny. He brought up Dominic.
Freaking Chavo. All right. Well, sounds like TNA's, doing pretty well with their booking, and the TNA partnership is definitely pretty good because if you come in if you come to NXT, you're probably gonna get beat. If you go to TNA, you're probably gonna get beat.
That's the way it should be.
That's kind of how it's going. But the Hardys did beat Fraxium on NXT, so there you go.
So when they do the rematch, which will be for the NXT championships, Fraxium's going to get that big career win over the Hardy Boys.
Yeah.
So they're going to get that win back, and that's going to be awesome. Because that the first go around there on Roadblock last week was pretty dope. So.
Yep. Pretty dope. And
speaking of Axiom, he and some other people made some surprising appearances on SmackDown over in Barcelona. So let's get to that.
Yeah, got a lot of offense in too.
Yeah. Here's a recap of what happened on last week's episode of SmackDown. The first part of their overseas tour in Barcelona, Spain. LA Knight came out to open the show. Got a promo. He was interrupted by Jimmy Uso, who wants to challenge him for the title at WrestleMania. Solo, Jacob Fatu, and Tama Tonga came out to rebut. They led to a brawl. Braun Strowman came out to help the baby faces. Nick Aldis came out and turned it into a 6-man tag. So LA Knight, Braun Strowman, Jimmy Uso took on Solo, Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga. Strowman power slammed Tama Tonga to pick up the baby faces. After match, Koa attacked Strowman and Fatu hit him with the triple jump moonsault. They recapped Naomi admitting last week to attacking Jade Cargill. Cargill had a sit-down interview in the arena earlier in the day, talking about what happened. She says that last she saw before she went unconscious was Naomi running away after she got attacked. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez showed up to mock her. Jade didn't appreciate that, and that set up a match between Liv and Jade for next week. B-Fab took on Charlotte. Charlotte picked up the victory with figure 8. She held on to the hold after the match. Tiffany Stratton ran down for the save, led to a big pull-apart brawl that lasted well past the commercial break and even continued when Miz came out for Miz TV with Cody. Drew McIntyre cut a pre-tape promo going over why he has issues with Damian Priest going all the way back to when he cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase on Drew at WrestleMania last year, take the title from him after he beat Seth for it, saying that he's going to pay for denying him all his chances, especially recently with the Rumble and Elimination Chamber. He's going to make him suffer. Miz TV with Cody really didn't last long. Cody came out, laid Miz out, said that he only wants to talk to John Cena on Monday. Shinsuke told Nick Aldis he wanted a rematch, but Damian Priest came and said he wanted McIntyre. He made a match between the two of them. There was a teaser for what looked like Rey Fenix. Damian Priest versus Shinsuke ended a DQ, and Drew McIntyre came up to attack Damian Priest. He beat the crap out of him, laid him up to Claymore, yelling at him. This is only the beginning. DIY cut an interview promo saying that they're the best and they're going to prove it. Machine Guns came in and said that they'll be waiting for him on the other side. Then Chelsea Green bragged about how she has her administration in full force. Zelina Vega came in wanting a shot at the women's U.S. title. Piper Niven said she's got to go through her first, so they have a match next week. Randy Orton took on Carmelo Hayes. Good stuff between these guys. Orton won with the RKO. He went to punt Carmelo after the match, but Kevin Owens ironically came out and saved Melo, and then ran away before Kevin ran away before Randy could get his hands on him. Jacob Fatu challenged Braun Strowman to another match next week to settle their issues. Gunther came out to a check and he revealed that he was going to be challenged by Axiom, who is from Spain and won half of the NXT Tag Team Champions for Axiom. These two had a banger match. Gunther, but ended up picking up the victory. Heyman came out and cut a promo bragging about how it's Roman Reigns' day and ran down both CM Punk and Seth Rollins and said that Roman will be on SmackDown in Italy next week. Gunther went to see Jimmy Uso and told him to go convince his brother Jay that he shouldn't be challenging him at WrestleMania or bad things are going to continue to happen to him. Then we had a main event. WWE Tag Team Titles Online as DIY defending against Street Profits. Great match. And in the end, the Street Profits were able to pick up the victory. Frog Splash Montez Ford got the pin. And after 4 years, the Street Profits are finally once again tag team champions. Crowd popped big for this, and the Profits celebrated winning the titles to close out the show. So that's all that happened on last week's episode of SmackDown from Spain.
It's okay. It's okay. You're okay. Are we okay? You good? You good? You're right. If you had time to digest it like I did a couple weeks ago?
I had a feeling that this was going to happen because it's like the Street Profits couldn't afford to lose another title match at this point.
No.
I was prepared for this.
Okay. Now,
it's okay. DIY's had a decent run. It's like this feud is not over yet, so I'm okay with it. No. I'm really happy for that. The Street Profits 4 years. They haven't been tag team championships in 4 years. That's a long time.
And think about all the bullshit feuds that they had to do. You know, I mean, remember that stupid vignette crap between them and at the time the Viking Experience. Remember that trash?
Well, we know someone else is happy right here.
I know. I mean, this is the best version of the Street Profits that I've seen in quite some time. Too.
No, I like this new attitude versus Street Profits is great, and I love that the crowd popped big for the title win. It's a big deal, you know, doing a title change before another title change before WrestleMania. You know, just like I said last week, just when you think we have all the answers, Triple H keeps changing the questions. So it's like,
yeah, but. The thing I kind of like, because some people are like, man, they're just changing titles all the time. I'm like,
change overseas is rare too.
Right. And here's the thing. This is why I'm liking the SmackDown tag division, because at any point, anyone could win them. And it doesn't demean anyone else in it. If you all don't think that is true, ask the Dudleys, Edge and Christian, and the Hardys. I think they exchanged the tag team titles 7 times in 2 months.
That title went back and forth between those 3 teams over a good year period. Yeah, a year and a half. And then they got Lita involved, then Rhino came in. Yeah, it's like,
and then Spike came in, and big old thing. And then Benoit and Chris Jericho got involved with it, and that was that type that is still like the golden era to me. That's like, oh, that's when that tag division was just really, really
good. I'll never forget the tag team title match at Raw when 2-man power trip heel Triple H and heel Stone Cold had the tag team titles, and they defended against Jericho and Benoit. Jericho Benoit beat him for the titles, and I worked out like a madman because I loved the Chris's. That's of course the infamous match where Triple H tore his quad and was out and didn't come back until January of the following year.
Yeah, and go watch the Inside the Ropes Jericho. That's a really good story he tells about Triple H tearing his quad, about him putting on the worst looking walls of Jericho.
Because he was like, he was that back then. He was of the mentality, fuck this injury. We got to finish the match.
Right. Yeah. Wait, Paul, what are you talking about? Paul Heyman doesn't book. I know what you're talking about. Maybe. I don't know. I'm with you, Giff, but Bianca and Montez have come out many times and says they like to just work separately.
Yeah.
And then it's the kind of same thing with Becky and Seth. They really didn't want to work together.
They kind of like, we want to keep we don't want our crafts to positive. People know, we're a couple, we're husband and wife, but after them trying to do that whole feud with Corbin and God, what was her name?
Wasn't Carmella?
No, it wasn't Carmella. It was God. She had the sassy Southern Belle giver, Lacey Evans.
Oh, Lacey Evans. Yeah.
In 2019, it's like after that, like Seth and Becky were like, we don't want to, we don't want to pair together on the screen again.
You talk about two people who are married and have kids and are so, and like anytime you see them in the back, and like they have so much chemistry, and then they're on screen as characters and have zero chemistry. It was the weirdest thing ever. But yeah, no, I'm liking where this tag team division. This is the most memorable I can believe. Like, you don't have someone that is just overbooked, and every time those four, because right now, as far as that, you got five, right? You've got Motor City, Pretty Deadly, Los Garza, DIY, and Street Profits.
Yeah, it's like you got like five teams all like fighting each other over the tag team titles right now, pretty much. Yeah, it's like
pretty good.
Everybody's got issues with each other at this point.
Oh, and speaking about,
did you love the almost like Charlie Day Always Sunny in Philadelphia meme with the board that Aldous had? It's all over the place.
The Pepe Sylvia board, yeah. And then we forgot to talk about the news. Speaking about tag teams and where you're going, tell me if you've heard this before. Andrade is not happy with his booking.
Shocker.
He was not. Other than his best of seven series with Carmelo,
definitely was good, but since then, yeah, it's like they haven't given him much.
No, they haven't given him much. On to that opening segment. So, kids out there, if you didn't, I just love it how LA Knight comes out with this gear on. There was no match ever announced.
Yep.
But LA just happened to come out with this gear on. This is basically an unwritten rule being like, you're about to get a match.
Yeah. Something was going to happen.
And then all of a sudden, Jimmy comes out with his gear on.
Right.
And then Solo and whatever you want to call this.
They look like they're ready to wrestle.
And it looks like all three of them have their gear on.
Yep.
I wonder what's going to happen. I love these unwritten rules type things of just like, I wonder what. And then Aldous comes out and goes, I think we're going to have a triple threat. No shit, Nick. And that's okay. However you get there is fine. But yeah, he went full gear. That's okay. Well done. Well done, Giff. But I will say this. I like how they did the Olay chant, but turned into LA. So shout out to the crowds. These foreign crowds international crowds are just awesome. They're so good. But yeah, the LA stuff. I mean, LA Knight couldn't even hardly talk much because the crowd just was going nuts for him for that. So shout out to that. I just like that opening segment. The triple threat was great. And then Jacob just wrecking shop at the end. Keep him as a beast.
Don't you just love that they put out an all gas no brakes shirt for him? I think I got to get that.
Yeah,
all gas no brakes.
Yeah, and plus I said I got to get that Samoan werewolf like symbol hoodie. I got to get that. But yeah, I just like the way they're doing it. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure it's like they might eventually have it. I mean, like these European fans, it's like they bring the energy. It's because it's like this is a big deal. It's like they don't do the weekly shows overseas very much. So it's like this is a big deal for them.
Yeah. So
they brought the energy, and so did the Brussels crowd. Holy cow!
Yeah. I did like as much. I always feel bad for like you finally get to see these your superstars that you always see on TV, and Cody comes out for like 0.5 seconds and he leaves. Like I know he did some other dark match stuff, and
at least you got to see him. It's like,
but at least I got to see him. But I thought as far as a segment, I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah.
Because it was such a good of like Cody's like, I'm done, shut the hell up.
Yeah.
Go away.
Also, did you notice that when Paul Heyman cut his promo, they booed him loudly when he said Roman wasn't there and that Seth and Punk were not there either?
Well, we'll get
that's not what you want to. That's not what the fans want to hear.
No, like, and when Seth cut his promo on Raw, kind of the same thing.
It's like they want this. They want the big stars, baby. Italy is going to get Punk, Seth, and Roman all in the same show tomorrow night. Yeah. So lucky for my Italians back home. By the way, that was a rare misfire promo from Heyman. That I just didn't care for that at all. It felt like weak sauce.
Yeah,
it felt like a time. It was an excuse just to kill time for a 3-hour show.
Yeah,
because I love Heyman.
Yeah, Charlotte B-Fab. That wasn't the story. The story was Tiffy and Charlotte just kept fighting.
A good pull apart brawl is sometimes all you need to help get the crowd into something. I mean, and this is exactly what it needed. It's like Tiffany needed to show anger and like I'm tired of your fucking shit, Charlotte.
Right. And I liked it how they're like, okay, they got him back there, and then here they come back again.
Yeah, it was very much like Seth and Punk. Like you just cannot keep these two apart.
No, it's Peter Griffin and the chicken all over again.
Yeah, yeah.
and that spot when she came off the trolley. Yeah,
Tiffy time, baby.
I was like, okay, this is why we were excited when Charlotte was coming back. It's like it's Tiffy Charlotte. It's got to be Tiffy Charlotte, and this is what it is. And the match is going to be a banger. It just has to be.
It has to be.
And then Carmelo and Randy, that was pretty fun.
That's good.
I mean, I wish Carmelo. I don't like it when I want. I don't know.
Losing to Randy is not a bad thing. It's like.
No,
because he got to look good. It's not like he got. It's not like Austin Theory getting squashed by Jay in 10 seconds on Raw. And
we'll get into that. That was actually supposed to go longer, but John Cena apparently went overtime. And if John Cena wants to go overtime, you're going to go overtime.
He's allowed to go overtime.
He's allowed to go overtime. And also too, it's like, they went overtime. I'm like, but it's on Netflix.
Yeah,
but I know they want to keep it a tight window for reasons.
They wanted to keep Raw to about 2 to 2.5 hours.
Yeah, and I think they're hitting that 2.5 hour sweet spot. I think that's where they're.
I know. I like I think the 2.5 hour. Yeah, the 2.25 to 2.5. I think it works pretty well.
And that's what I kind of feel like because 2 hours, like a lot of these Smackdowns that used to be 2 hours. It felt like. There were some things, but it felt like it wasn't. It didn't allow it to breathe on how they.
Well, 3 hours has been rough outside of a few things. You know, like this show was pretty decent, especially with the but like the one before that was like the best 3 hour SmackDown they've done.
Yeah,
this one this week, then the Spain was good, not great, but it was good. The main event and like the matches and the crowd being so hot definitely helped. And they did some good angle advancement, a lot of storylines. So,
yep. And shout out to as soon as I was like Axiom, hey, there he is.
That was cool. It's like I was like, oh yeah, it makes sense. Axiom's from Spain. It's like he's gonna be very over.
Yeah. And at first, like the crowd was just like, was that? It's Axiom. Like
yeah, they couldn't believe it.
The crowd at first were like, what? Oh.
And that was the match of the night. Outside the main
surprise! The Gunther match is the match of the night.
Yeah, no, and him and Axiom wrestled before back in NXT UK. So, back when he was a kid.
And you would think they were going to squash. You typically would think he's going to squash Axiom, but no, they gave him time. And they gave him a lot of offense, and Gunther's good at selling. So
he got to show how awesome he is, and they had a banger. It was awesome.
And I'm glad that they did that, so not to squander the ride that Fraxium is on. It doesn't belittle.
It helps also move maybe more eyes to check out Fraxium on NXT.
Yeah, exactly. And that match was pretty good there.
Yeah.
Do you think we're going to get a fatal 4-way? When it all said and done for the tag team titles at Mania?
It definitely feels like it's probably going to be a multi-team match. I don't know if it's going to be ladder. It's like they did the ladder
They've done ladders every. It's just
so a ladder match again this year would be really redundant. We'll see. Maybe they'll come up with something different.
Yeah, but other than the Paul Heyman thing, and then McIntyre just destroying Damian Priest.
Yeah, that promo, that pre-tape promo that Drew cut, explaining why he wants to destroy Damian Priest. I was like, okay, now I'm sold on this.
Well, that's kind of what we talked about before.
Yeah, he went all the way back to WrestleMania last year when he beat Seth for the title. He had his big moment, but then of course he's like, Punk fucked me over, and you had to take advantage of it. You took your advantage and you cashed in and you stole the title from me. And then I was like, okay, now we're cooking. When he went to him challenging Priest to try to win the title at Clash at the Castle, and it's like Punk screwed me again, and you took advantage, and it's like, I was screwed again. It's like you had a hand in this,
and then a Royal Rumble, you took advantage, and you screwed me there.
Yeah, it's like he did a good job explaining, going all the way back to last year's WrestleMania, why he's fed up with Damian Priest and wants to wreck him.
Yeah. So the question is, what stip is this going to be? Because I just don't think the crowd's going to get hyped up for just Damian Priest versus McIntyre.
Maybe no DQ. I don't really think you need a street fight. Maybe like no DQ, maybe.
Yeah, because as much as brutally as he beat Priest this week, tomorrow night, last week, tomorrow night.
Oh yeah, Priest is going to get some retribution in Italy tomorrow night.
Yeah. So, and then
now because it's in Italy and the time difference, there's going to be spoilers all over the internet because it's going to air live on Netflix outside the United States, and then the VOD taped version will air on USA at 8 p.m. Eastern time here in the States. Mm-hmm. So if you have if you have a VPN, it's like you can queue up your Netflix and watch it SmackDown live earlier in the day. So be aware, people. They're like, and it's going to be like that for Raw for the next few years because they're overseas for with both Raw and SmackDown for like another 2 weeks before they're back in the States just before Mania hits. Yeah. So it's like I will say before we get to Raw, the nice thing about that I had to call in sick on Monday so I could go get some meds to finally get rid of this illness. I got to watch Raw live at 3:00 in the afternoon on Netflix.
Yeah.
So okay. I was like, I posted it in the Discord. I'm like, one benefit of me calling in sick today, I get to watch Raw live at 3 p.m. Eastern time. No spoilers.
Right.
I made sure not to spoil a damn thing because I figured most people are working, so they're not going to be watching Raw until later that evening on the VOD. So, nope. So it was cool watching Raw live at 3:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah, I'm about to say that was pretty cool for you experience there.
It made up for still being sick that day.
Yeah, but yeah, this show pretty. Other than the Paul Heyman promo, I thought it was a pretty solid show. It's fine. Mm-hmm. Had a solid tag team title.
Yeah.
Title
main
event. Yeah. Axiom.
Yep.
Was really good. The Charlotte and the triple threat at the beginning was fine. I just thought it was hilarious about all hey, and then Jimmy's got his gear on.
So I think it feels like I don't think Zelina challenging Chelsea for the women's U.S. title is Mania worthy. It's probably going to happen on SmackDown on the road to WrestleMania. But then who's she going to defend the title against at the pay-per-view?
I don't know. Do not know.
But she's Chelsea
still appearing on NXT too. So
yeah, we'll talk about that pretty dope match she had on NXT with Sol Ruca in a bit.
Yeah, that was a pretty good finish. All right, let's go to Raw. But yeah, good. I liked it. It's a fun show.
Yeah, let's go to Raw from Brussels, Belgium. Mm-hmm. Here's a recap of this week's episode of Monday Night Raw from Brussels, Belgium. Corey Graves replaced Pat McAfee on commentary with Michael Cole due to them being overseas. The show opened with John Cena coming out to a massive monster heel heat from the fans. He finally cut his first heel promo after what happened in Elimination Chamber, basically saying that he was tired of the abusive, toxic relationship with the fans, that he tried to please them, and even when he was on the top guy and kept winning, they hated him, blamed them for everything, said that they're not going to get new music or anything else because of what he's done. They're going to get nothing. And then Cody came out to respond saying that he doesn't like this Cena and wants to face the real Cena at WrestleMania, not this whiny bitch. Then we had Penta versus Ludwig Kaiser in a no DQ match. After a Canadian destroyer onto a chair, Penta hit the Penta driver on Ludwig to pick up the victory. After the match, he made it clear he wants to challenge Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental title. Judgment Day, we're in the clubhouse. Dominic said that, brought up the idea of adding some new team, and he said he thought Penta would be good, and Balor flips out on him, saying that's a stupid idea, calls him a snake. Dominic said he didn't know Penta was going after the Intercontinental title, and Carlito, lovely clip. You don't watch the show, do you? Very funny. We had Dakota Kai taking on Ivy now in a one-on-one match. Chad Gable and the rest of American Creator out there too. But the LWO came out to attack them, and that distraction allowed Dakota to hit GDK and beat Ivy Nile, pick up the victory. Adam Pearce oversaw the contract signing between Io Sky and Bianca Belair for the Women's World title match, WrestleMania. Rhea Ripley came out to interrupt. She got into it with both ladies. She ended up laying them both out, powerbombing on top of each other, top table. Then she took the contract and also put her name on it as well and took the contract with her. Adam Pearce was livid. Jey Uso squashed Austin Theory in 30 seconds with a spear. He took care of the villains. Gunther came out to attack, but he was able to fight back this time. Adam Pearce was yelling at Ripley, giving back the contract, saying that she's acting like a child. Bianca and Io came up and they all got into it again. It had to be separated. Creed Brothers took on the LWO in a tag match. Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee picked up the victory. After the match, the mysterious American Luchador came out and attacked the LWO again and was ran out by security. Seth Rollins came out of chat, cut a promo about what happened last week, saying that Roman Reigns stopped him from taking care of CM Punk. And since he hears that Punk and Roman are both going to be on SmackDown this week, he's going to go join them and have a little chat. AJ Styles doesn't think Logan Paul belongs here. Karrion Kross had words with him again, trying to mess with him. Then we had the main event, Intercontinental title match, Braun Breaker defending against Finn Balor. Despite interference from Judgment Day, Braun was able to pick up the victory with a Frankenstein and then a spear. Judgment Day tried to tag him after the match, but Penta ran out to make the save, and then the two had a stare down over the IC title to close out the show. So that's all that happened on this week's episode of Monday Night Raw.
So I will say this. I disagree with that. I didn't think that promo was lackluster.
I know some people thought it was lackluster. I thought it was a very good start. There's still plenty more, because I know some people were like, why didn't you talk about 17? Why didn't you talk about Selling Out the Rock? We got plenty of time for that. This was laying the foundation of the heel turn.
Yes.
I wasn't sure about this, but as soon as he brought up about how, like, it's like when I was on top, I was like, I was doing it. You know, it's like I was the top guy. I was doing everything right, and I kept winning and winning and winning, and you hated me for it. I was like, yes, lean into the we're tired of John Cena shoved down our throats hate that he got back in the day.
Yeah, the Super Cena stuff.
The Super Cena. It's like that's the perfect thing to go to as to one of the reasons why he did this, going all the way back to that. and talking about, like the John Cena sucks, back and forth. I thought he did a great job of explaining how he felt that the fans treated him and that he was just sick and tired of it. I liked all that. And this crowd brought the heat, and I appreciated that. It was really needed. And Cody came out and gave a good, gave a nice, quick little, some jabs back at him, especially with it's like, I don't want to face this John Cena at WrestleMania because he's like, you're a whitey bitch. It's
right.
like, ooh.
Yeah. No, it was, and I liked how Cena went, like, it was a layer. It was a nice little foundation, but it was also a little layered in the fact that he came out with his music because we were like, oh, what do we, like he was saying, what do we get? Oh, we get a new Cena. What's the Cena going to be like? You get nothing. You're going to get the same music. You're going to get the same jorts.
That's my point. I love that. He's like, you're not going to get, I'm not giving you anything.
No. You don't deserve it.
You've taken from me.
Yeah.
It's like,
I gave you everything and it still wasn't enough. And I'm like, this literally was a promo of just like, that made sense.
Jason Saw a Monster, I thought, summed up perfectly. This is the promo he would have, this part of this promo is probably what he would have said if he had been allowed to turn heel years ago, like after the Rock feud, which is what he's revealed that after him and the Rock had their Mania to Mania feud going, that Vince was finally going to let him turn heel, and they had new music and all kinds of stuff ready for it to go. And then at the last minute, Vince pulled the plug because he got chicken shit because he didn't want to lose his Golden Goose merchandise seller, babyface.
So, like I said, and I think the reason some people thought it was lackluster,
he's been probably waiting to say this for years. When he finally got the chance to turn heel.
And this type of promo, if it takes a John Cena skilled on the mic to pull this off, because it can definitely come off as just being a typical like, oh, you people suck, you didn't like me, blah blah blah, like that.
No, I love these. Like, go ahead, just go, yeah, go ahead, yeah. It's like he played off of everything they were saying perfectly. It's like not
that poor kid, poor kid.
Oh yeah, the one Cena fan was just like ready to look like he was about to burst into tears.
You're about to be a mean kid, like the Miz kid.
Yeah,
gonna be a mean kid.
I thought this was a really good start. I thought it was a really good start.
I think some people
they're gonna have more to say this coming week.
Yeah, and I think I'm not, if someone just thought it was lackluster, it's fine. But I also think that some people thought it was lackluster is because you had 2 weeks to
I know that's the one drawback is I had to wait 2 weeks to get to hear this, and he's still finishing filming a movie right now. It's like they can't be helped. It's like it's like
and like I was saying, I think in that 2 weeks, people got to sit there and fan fiction out exactly how they would do.
Yeah, I think so.
And then when he came out with his own with the same music and stuff, and so at first you have to like, oh shit, he's just doing the same thing. And then once he started going, and you're just like, all right, throw my fan fiction out the window. Let's just see what Cena's got to do. And I thought it was a good start for the promo that we got. Yeah, but like I said, it takes you have to be really good on the mic to pull that type of promo off. And I thought he did. I didn't like the fact that him and Cody didn't take a little couple barbs back and forth, but I think we're going to get that on Raw. I think, again, this is dipping your toe in the water.
Yep.
And what these next month is going to be between Cena and Cody, and I am here for it. That being said, the segment went over.
Yep.
So that's why Jay had that squash, and it was botchy, and just ugh.
I just felt bad for Austin there. I'm like, geez, dude.
Yeah. Penta is super over.
Yeah.
Which is not surprising that he's not.
And it's like, yeah, him and Kaiser had a nice little no DQ match there. Good stuff. I'm Penta Braun IC title match. Banger. Give it to me.
You think we're gonna is we still leaning towards Karrion Kross cracks me up. His interaction with AJ still cracks me up.
No, I like what they're doing with him being like trying to be like the demon on everybody's shoulders right now. Just like
you saw Karrion talking to Dominic in the background.
Yeah, he's whispering in a lot of people's ears, and it's like he's sowing chaos. I'm kind of digging it.
All right, what are we gonna do with the Alpha? whatever they're like, because they're losing, and I don't care for either one of the.
Something's got to change soon. It's like it's like don't be treating these Ivy Nile and the Creed brothers like jobbers, man. Come on,
Yeah,
they deserve better than that.
Yeah, and
although the only upside right now is the whole Chad Gable and the Lucha Mask stuff. I think I'm digging it. That's not me. That's not me. You have no proof.
Not me. What are you talking about? Just don't do a lie detector like they did with the Hogan shit.
Oh yeah, no.
But yeah, the Braun. Hey, surprise, Braun and Finn had a good match.
Yeah, that was a great main event.
Yeah. Was there anything else that really stuck out? Because I thought, other than the Cena stuff and the Braun Finn match,
this was an okay show.
Okay show
that was elevated by the crowd and the Cena's opening promo in the main event definitely helped. Other than that, the show was like,
yeah. Like if this Raw, no, I'm just going to call out some random city.
If this had been in the States with not such a hot crowd, it would have been a mess show.
Yeah, if this was in like Corpus Christi, right? Probably wouldn't have been. This probably would have been a super mess show. Other than the Cena stuff. So yes, the crowd definitely boosted the show.
Oh yeah,
what I can say. But yeah, that's right. There wasn't much that went on compared to SmackDown, where you had a little bit more build to other things.
Now I did enjoy the whole thing with the contract signing, and you know how I mentioned about it's like they're definitely building a storyline. Rhea, as soon as Adam Pearce said you're acting like a child, I was like, ding.
There it is.
That's what Charlotte said just a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
She's acting. You're a child,
and
now Adam Pearce has called her out for acting like a child. I think this is part of the storyline. It's like Charlotte saying that was not just a random thing.
Nope. And like I said,
she is acting like a petty child.
Yeah, and you have your top, and all three of them are at the same level.
And it's like the three of them like and respect each other, but it's gotten to the point where it's like they're just like getting to a boiling point where enough of this shit. Let's sell this in the ring.
Yep.
Because I think EO is finally going to be like, even though Frankie Yaga's probably happy, like, fine, you won the title match, you're in the title match. It's like, make it happen. It's like, we're going to sell this shit.
Yep. And then Asuka and Kairi Sane come back and help EO win at WrestleMania, and everyone has
probably. Because honestly, I think EO should retain.
I think she should too. Yep. But if she doesn't, that's fine. I'm good with.
She don't need the title right now.
No, I'm good with Bianca taking it. I really am. I'm okay with it. I don't think Rhea needs it back.
I think point. Naomi may have Naomi Jade situation may end up costing her the match.
I don't know. I just don't want them to overbook that though. When I'm throw out Asuka and Kairi, and then you've got Naomi and.
But Bianca. They wouldn't like directly interfere because she's babyface right now. So it's like, but they may prevent other shenanigans from happening or cause a distraction. Who knows? Yeah. But right now, I want EO to retain the title. She just won it, so it would be Triple H is not the person who would just like do that kind of too quick of a hot shot just for Mania. No.
So are we getting AJ and Logan Paul?
That's what it looks like. That I was like, I forgot to mention that when we were talking about potential mini matches. That's what looks like another match that looks like is getting set up here.
I like
it. I don't mind that.
I don't mind that at all.
Because those people have a low-key banger.
Yeah. And you talk about, we talked about, Logan Paul wrestle without a safety net. If there's one person to wrestle without a safety net with,
it's AJ Styles.
It's AJ Styles.
Because he'll take care of
their styles are, no pun intended, their styles are so similar.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's basically, we're never going to get AJ versus Hangman Page. So we're going to get, because Logan Paul basically has all the moves that Hangman Page does.
Yeah. If AJ's not in the title picture, having him do a high profile match with Logan Paul makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and then did you see the one the social media post? Because Logan keeps trying to get cool with Cena, and so he had just these barbells that were lifted, and he was like spotting them, and it's just nobody. It's like the whole you can't see Cena. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, I love this whole I would have sold my soul in a heartbeat.
I would have done it. Yeah. All right, and then Andrew Schultz apparently this might be the last time we see of Andrew Schultz as well. There's been him and Triple H been kind of going back and forth on the social, so we probably see Andrew Schultz at some point again. So let's move on to AEW. And when do you go too far?
I'm going to have a lot to say about that match last night and other things that are going on in AEW. So
yeah,
let's get to it because I got words. Here's a recap of what happened on this week's episode of AEW Dynamite. From Omaha, Nebraska, Excalibur, Tony, Schiavone, and Taz on commentary. We opened with a fatal four-way to determine who would face Kenny Omega for the international title at Dynasty. Orange Cassidy versus Ricochet versus Mark Davis versus Speedball Mike Bailey. Crazy action as you would expect from this kind of a match. In the end, there was a double pin as both Mike Bailey and Ricochet pinned Mark Davis at the same time. And so the referee declared that both Ricochet and Speedball won the match. And so they will face Kenny in a triple threat at the pay-per-view for the title. Hurt Syndicate had a promo. Then we had TBS title match. Mercedes Moné defending against Billy Starks from ROH. Mercedes picked up the victory. The Outrunners got a promo hyping up NCAA action, and that Collision will air after March Madness on Saturday night. Then we got a pre-tape promo for MJF saying that he's contemplating MVP's offer and will give him an answer next week. Then we had the street fight for the AEW World Championship as Jon Moxley defended against Cope. All kinds of craziness as you expect, including a really sick spot with the spiked barbed wire baseball bat getting stuck in Moxley's back. Not pretty for the faint of heart. Death Riders showed up to interfere as you'd expect. FTR showed up as well to try to help even things out. But in the end, Moxley, thanks to an assist from Nick Wayne, of all people as well, choked out Copeland to retain the championship. After the match, Dax Harwood was shown being not happy with Copeland for some reason. Not sure what's going on with that. Bandito was talking to Renee and vowed to face Jericho at Collision and get the mask for Gravity back. And Giant TV came up and got in his face, and that led to a match being set for Collision this weekend. Yeah, Will Ospreay taking out AR Fox. Will Ospreay picked up the victory. Hangman Page was interviewed. He declared that he was going to go into a cup tourney so he could earn a title shot and win back the AEW World Championship. They have up matches for Collision. Mercedes cut up interview with Renee, mocking whoever trained Billy, saying they did do a good job, a.k.a. ROH Women's Champion Athena. Then we had the main event, Megan Bayne taking on Chris Statlander with Timeless Tony Storm and on the commentary desk. Penelope Ford got involved, but she got kicked out. It didn't matter in the end. Megan Bayne won with the F5. Tony went in the ring to confront her, and they got into a brawl. And Tony got the better of it and challenged Megan to a title match for Dynasty to close out the show. So that's all that happened on this week's episode of AEW Dynamite.
Okay, now before you have your opinions, I will say this. Online, it was kind of split as far as how they felt about it. As far as online crowd. Okay. Some people enjoyed the show. Some people did not. Here's where I'm at. you put that much violence in it because you can't tell a story to save your life. Also, it's like Wheeler Yuta. It came back. We went back to the same old Tony can't figure out where he's at in the storyline shit. It's like isn't Wheeler Yuta pissed at Mox and now he's back to helping Mox? And then
oh look, it's Claudia. Oh look, it's Pac. Oh look, it's Maria Shafir. What a shocker!
And then here comes FDR. But FDR's in not like
doesn't
Dax
make any fucking sense.
Doesn't make any sense. That being said, man, this is the best televised indie show I have seen, man, because the matches were awesome. Story-wise, yeah. Although, I will say this. I'm liking the back and forth between Tony and Megan Bayne because Tony can just do whatever she wants with that. I'm also really excited because we might actually get Athena versus Mercedes.
They're teasing this, and it better happen. And I swear to God, please let Athena be the one to dethrone Mercedes and take the title off her for the love of God.
Love of God.
But they're definitely building toward a Mercedes Athena feud because she was taking very clear pot shots at Athena without saying her name. Okay.
And I'm going through my rundown real quick, and then I'll let you just take over.
Go.
Anytime you book somebody against AR Fox, I'm like, you lost my investment in the match. You just lost it.
It was a decent match, please.
It was a decent match, but I just know I was going to win it, so I just like, well, I'm like halfway checked out. Hangman, I don't think he can do any wrong at this point.
He still cuts a really good promo.
He's such a good promo. And Speedball Mike Bailey. Okay, all right. I'm understanding now.
He fits into AEW very well.
He fits into AEW. Ricochet, this is the best Ricochet's looked. The crowd was popping for Orange Cassidy stuff like you typically do. But the thing is, and my two biggest gripes is the stories, the freaking main event thing, the title picture stuff doesn't make any fucking sense. Why do you have Nick Wayne come out? I don't understand that. I thought he didn't like Christian Cage, but not like is he in cahoots? I don't know fucking know what's going on with that. And then you have the most gnarliest spot ever that you didn't need ever in the history of ever. You didn't need that. And then at least Edge is actually like, yes, I'm still calling him Edge. Cope is a dumb name. At least you had Edge lose twice in a row of all the overbooking crap that you can do. But you put it in the middle of the show. Yeah. I had no problem. The beginning and like that middle match with the overbooking and the stories making no sense, and it was just a clusterfuck. That's it. Other than that, the show was fine. Good wrestling, good promos, good story builds. You're teasing us with Athena and Mercedes. You're teasing us with Tony and Megan Bayne. The women's division is actually I'm actually excited for it. And I still have this, this aftertaste in my mouth that is whatever the fuck Mox is involved with.
Yeah.
All right, there you go.
Oh my God. Yeah, this is so frustrating because it's like, it's not that this was like a god awful show. There was good stuff on the show. The opening 4-way match was great. It was nice to see the women get the main event slot on Dynamite, and we had actually 2 women's matches.
And Billy Starks,
rarity.
Billy Starks is 20 years old.
Yeah, it's like at least I was like I knew Billy had no chance in hell beating Mercedes. No. Of course not.
But like, it highlighted Billy.
You got to at least look good.
Yeah.
She's really young and really talented.
Louisville finest.
It's nice that she's been removed from ROH purgatory and gotten a chance to be on AEW proper. But oh my God, the street fight is just the big glaring siren example of the problems that AEW still needs to work on. When I was watching the show and they announced it was not debatable, I was like, that's a choice. Okay. Look, as much as I liked that the Statlander Megan Bayne match that match didn't have stakes that made it feel like the main event. It was nice. The only reason they put that in the main event slot is because they wanted to set up the whole angle with
Tony.
With Tony. But did you really need to use the main event to do that?
No.
But on the other hand, they probably wanted to send the crowd home happier, because if they ended the show with that match with the street fight, you would have left a sour taste in everybody's mouth, especially with the what the F with, with that, where the fuck Dax was doing after the match. So it's like, okay, so you got weird placement, and then the spot with the nails, and it was just like, I was just, no, why the fuck do you need to do this? Look, I don't mind violence in wrestling matches
When it makes sense.
Up
Hangman
to a
Swerve.
certain
Talk
point.
about it.
There, perfect example is McIntyre Punk's Hell in the Cell match last year.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you bring violence and blood into a match, because it was just a blow off of the feud, and it was appropriate because of how much they hated each other.
Fletcher Ospreay in that cage match too.
Yeah, exactly. Fletcher Ospreay, that violence and the blood in the cage makes sense.
Tony Mariah
at Revolution also, that made sense because of their that feud was like extremely personal and nasty. And so it made sense that they went out and tried to kill each other, and they bled. Those were appropriate. Spots like this, they only do it for the shock value, and I don't like it.
Mm-mm.
And it looked nasty. He could have gotten so seriously hurt. It's like when his skin started to stretch when they're trying to pull the thing out. I was just like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. Shout out to the referee in Wheeler Yuta for protecting Mox.
That could. Oh God, he could have gotten so effed up.
So bad.
Ugh.
And now people
It's
are getting
even
on
my
Mox.
friends who don't mind violence. It's like, they messaged me, like, just like they were both like, they both literally screamed at the television in horror, as in, oh, what the F are you doing? This,
And
they like wrestling, and they like AEW.
No, and here's to my counter to some of those people. I'm gonna do a callback to AEW and kind of defend them for actually protecting their wrestlers. Mm-hmm. Remember when MJF pushed Chris Jericho off of Blood and Guts cage, and he fell onto a mattress or whatever it was? People were giving shit to him for it.
Yeah,
and we were like, no, actually, that's the right call to do. Then the same people just watched what happened on Wednesday or last night, and we're like, "Oh, that's too far." I'm like, "Shut the fuck up! You know it's too far. So why were you bitching when they protected themselves in the other way?"
Right. Okay, that's a valid point. It's just, it felt like it's like my friend Frank. Harley Joe, he goes, I have to assume there was someone with their finger right above the cut the feed button while they were trying to pull the thing out of his back.
Yeah.
It's like, because it was, that could have been so much worse.
Imagine talking to somebody who's never watched wrestling and you just show them that spot and you go, by the way, he won the match.
Not too long ago, showing, people reacting to the match live online, like YouTubers and stuff, to, like, going, oh my God, it's like, so it's like they're and it got media attention, and that was the point. Yeah. It was the point. It's like, and ironically, I just saw it. The show got one of the best ratings of the year.
I told you, dude. I told you.
It was to get eyeballs, and that's the thing. It just came off just like, it's like just so tired of the Death Rider shit. It's the same shit. Yeah.
Which is why some people didn't care for ECW, because they would just do the same match with different people.
I had the same reaction to the Nick Wing run, and that made me I'm like, what the fuck? He was bitching to Christian about fucking up. Why would he go screw Copeland over?
Mm-hmm.
It's like that was another WTF. Thankfully, that wasn't the finish, but it's like that. I'm like, I don't know where that's going.
No.
And then the whole Dax Harwood thing, it's like, I really I really hope Swerve takes the title from him at Dynasty because like I don't know how much more I can put up with this Death Rider shit.
Yeah.
This whole storyline sucks.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's like please, Tony, for the love of God, pull the plug on this soon. God, this is
the thing is though, is people just said it was one of the best shows they ever did.
I know that's.
And that's why I said that before I let you and I kind of gave my 2 cents. I was like, I know you're with the JD of New York's of the world, and JD has some very, very valid points. Typically, when I look at, I realize what he's like.
I'm not his like yes man. Just to make it clear, I agree with a lot of things, not everything, but it's like he's when it comes to some of his criticisms of AEW, he's really spot on with some of his criticism. I wouldn't say all of them. I think sometimes he goes a little overboard, but there are some valid criticisms he has that
this one was
unfortunately people are going after him about, which is bullshit.
Yeah, no, I thought he had very valid things, but he's been screaming at the top of his lungs about the Death Rider.
I think he's just frustrated, like some of us are. That it's like AEW can be so much better than that. It's like, it's what are you doing, guys? Come on, you can do better than this.
And that's
there's good. It's not like the show was a total shit show. We talked about there's good things, there's good feuds and storylines they're actually going on, but this like Death Rider thing is just it's
this dark cloud that just won't go away. The sky is not fully clear, and that's the thing is they're right there. They are right there of just being complete. Well, and we were talking about it. They were on a run there. Well, it was very
there was a couple weeks where the show was really good. And now it's back to like, oh geez, what are we gonna get tonight?
Yeah. So it just went too. Unfortunately, AEW went too extreme and overbooked it. That one match. I will say that it's that one match, but that one match, I just cannot. I can't oversee. It just leads that big dark cloud over a very solid. Other than that, a very solid show.
Mm-hmm.
And I just can't get over it.
Yeah, so it's like it's really frustrating. Yeah,
because the wrestling on this show, other than the overbookedness of the title match, was way better than Raw.
Yeah, it was a little bit much. I think they could have. The only complaint I have about the 4-way was the double pin. I think could have been executed a little better. Because logic problem. Fatal 4-way means no disqualification, so there was no reason for Ricochet to use the ropes as leverage. Because that's not cheating in a fatal 4-way.
But
he would have gotten. The referee would have had to count the pin anyway because he wouldn't get disqualified for that. I thought it was, but I get what they were going for. It's like I'm not going to knock it too much, but it's like
that's more of a semantic thing than
it was more semantic. It could have been a little bit cleaner how they wanted to do that, but it was very. I was like wondering, like, well, who's going to win this? Or I was like, oh, okay, now it's triple threat. Ricochet's probably going to eat that pin, though. I don't see them having Speedball just started. I don't see him jobbing to Moxley that quickly after he started his AEW career. So Ricochet's probably going to eat that L at the pay-per-view. But it'll be a hell of a match, though, between those three. That'll be a banger.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So we're getting at least some matches cleared up. And we got Swerve Moxley. We got Omega versus Ricochet versus Speedball for the international title. And we're definitely getting Timeless Tony versus Megan Bayne for the women's title.
Are we going to get another Hangman MJF? I don't think that's done.
I
know he's doing the Owen Hart thing, so that's mainly where he's pushing right now.
Yeah, it depends on what MJF if MJF decides to do business with the Hurt business and get some new allies to give him some backup. So we'll see what he decides to do with the Hurt business's offer next week.
Yeah.
I think I'll get a clear idea of what he's going to do at the pay-per-view. But I will say, the 3 matches set up so far are pretty good. So Dynasty's shaping up to look like a good show.
And that's what's frustrating about it is because you've got solid builds for multiple things, which honestly, like 6 months ago, they were really struggling with coming up with more than one build of anything. And now they've got 4 solid builds, and then it's just like they can't get a complete, just that overbooking crap that it doesn't make sense. It's just like, oh, you're right there. And that's partially why people think that Cody left, is because Tony tries to play with his toys too much instead of actually, position them correctly.
Yeah.
But, no one's perfect.
No.
So. But all right, let's move on to NXT. And it's just going to be weird to not see Roxanne on the show anymore. It's just going to be weird. Weird. I don't like it. But I'm not mad about it. And also, too, the internet is finding out about Stephanie Vacour very quickly.
Like Macho Man once said in a promo that has also been memed, you may not like it, but accept it.
Yeah.
You gotta accept
and like I was saying, the internet, who are not big wrestling fans, have found out who Stephanie Vacour is. And everyone is liking Stephanie Vacour. So I don't know how long she's going to be in NXT, because she is getting very hot very, 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 very quickly.
Yeah, I'm wondering. It's like we'll talk about it. I'm wondering how what I call, like, after Roxanne, the other big three NXT right now, how long they are going to be in NXT, because how they're progressing. So
here we go.
Yeah. Here's a recap of what happened on this week's episode of NXT. Back at the Performance Center, due to Corey having to work Raw in Brussels, he was not on NXT this week. It was just Booker and Vic Joseph. We opened with a women's U.S. title match as Chelsea Green defended against Sol Ruka. Zarya was in Sol's corner to counteract Alba Fire over Piper Niffen. Chelsea's flunkies ran interference. Zarya fought them off into the back, but Chelsea was able to hit the unprettier to retain the title. Javon was talking with Trick in the back, and Trick made it clear that they're not friends or partners. His focus is on getting the NXT title back from Obafemi. Lexus King ran his mouth at Javon and got punched in his face, setting up a match between them for the Heritage Cup next week. The Angel family got ready for their six-man against the Culling later. Then we had Stephanie Vacour, the new double champion, holding both the NXT Women's and North American championships. She said that this is difficult because English is her first language, wrestling is her first language, and she proved last week that she is the best, not holding both women's singles titles. Now she's ready for the next challenger to step up to face her. Jordan Grace came out to chat. Before she could get in the ring, she was jumped by Jada Parker and laid out. Jada got in the ring and told Stephanie she's got next. That led to a title match between Jada and Stephanie for the NXT Women's Championship next week. Then we had Hank and Take taking on Yoshiki Nomura and Josh Briggs. Nomura and Briggs picked up the victory. Eddie Thorpe and Ridge Holland were talking in the locker room, comparing notes. Then we had a mixed tag, the Angel family taking on the Culling. The mystery group was shown attacking Tony D'Angelo in the back. That distracted the family and allowed them to lose to the Culling. Ava was talking to Stephanie, made Jada versus her for the Women's Championship. Official next week, Fallon Henley came in still bitching about not getting her rematch for the Women's North American Championship. Stephanie said, fine, she'll defend the title her next week and do double duty. Ava was, are you sure? And made the match official. So the women's title match versus Jada opens the show, and then Stephanie will be in the main event defending the Women's North American against Fallon Henley. Then we had Jason Jane taking on Carmen Petrovic. Ashante tried to get Carmen to cheat with a chair, but she refused. And then she got taken out by Jane's finisher and lost the match. Hank and Tank were annoyed that they lost again, while Wesley and his buddies Tyreek and Tyson mocked them. Jada Parker cut a promo promising that she was going to win the Women's Championship next week from Stephanie. Well, you could see Ashante and Carmen arguing in the back behind her. Then we had Ricky Saints taking on Rich Holland. Ricky picked up the victory. The mystery group cut a promo outside the arena, at the Performance Center, revealed that their name is Dark State, and that they're here to sow chaos and create their own opportunities, rather than waiting for them to be handed to them, and that the chaos is going to continue, and they're not done tonight. Ricky Saints is happy, and he's ready for Stand and Deliver, but he ran afoul of the Culling again, and him and Sean Spears had another stare down, teasing a possible match between them coming up. So, all right, we had our main event, NXT Underground match, Eddie Thornton versus Trick Williams. Trick took care of Eddie in only a couple minutes, laid him out due to referee stoppage, and won the match. Afterwards, he called out Oba Femi. Oba came out to have a stare down. Then Dark State showed up to look like they were attacked. Javon came in, tried to convince them, but that ended up in a brawl between all three guys. Javon laid out Oba with a comer and had a stare down with Trick as Dark State just decided to watch the chaos unfold, close out the show. So that's all that happened on this week's episode of NXT.
Well, I don't think the Dark State's a very bright spot. I'm just not buying it right now, dude.
They got some work to do. I think the name is
NXT.
cool.
This is your typical NXT. Let's
I
get
like the name. I think the name is cool.
Yeah.
I think it's different. It's like they got some work to do. One of the guys involved has been featured on LFG. One of the members.
Okay.
He's pretty good. It was a taller guy with mustache and beard, white guy. I think he's the only white guy in the group, actually. So yeah, they got some work to do, but
I don't dislike it. I like at least they're doing something, and I'm intrigued by it.
I just clear that none of the baby faces are safe.
Right.
It's like they've been going after everybody, from the top down. So, Sam Vicker is awesome.
Like I said, Jordan, you got
her
Jordan.
English has gotten real good, man. She did a good job with that promo.
Jordan, Stephanie and Julia, Soroka.
Soul's coming along, man. She's like right on the verge of breaking out.
Finley.
They're also really high on Jada Parker right now. Jada Parker's getting a big push right now.
Well, that's what I remember. I told you a couple weeks ago. I was like, "Who's going to be the next?" I was like, "Jada."
I had a feling because she was one. It's like it's like you don't get picked to be in the Rumble for no reason. It's like it's like the NXT women that were chosen to be in the Rumble were there for reasons. Like Stephanie and Julia being there was obvious.
And Jada was on with Shay Jackson Jr. on his podcast.
Yeah, I saw the interview. She said she got really emotional when she got the call that they wanted her to be in the Rumble. Yeah,
real quick. Chris Bay was on Chris Van Fleet recently.
Yes, I need to check that out.
Yeah, just throwing it out there. Let's move on to the show. But I just want to make sure you were aware.
Yeah, I saw that. I just haven't got a chance to check it out yet. But no, yeah, she realized that's a big deal. It's like being in the Rumble is a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's like, besides Julia Stephanie, it was her and like Lash Legend were the big NXT women's names in there. Roxanne is kind of like still technically NXT, but it's like you know what I mean.
She's better than NXT. She just happens to grace them with her presence.
Yeah. It was weird that she was not on NXT this week. She hasn't been on TV at all.
The show sucked. No, just kidding.
Her and Bailey were both off TV this week, which is really weird. It's like if that's going somewhere, they need to step things up next week again
because they're still talking shit to each other online.
Oh yeah, they're still going at it over on social media. So, it's definitely, if they're doing that, that definitely means things are not over yet. So I thought it was really weird that we didn't see the role model or the prodigy on TV this week. It was a little odd. Other interesting choice. Did not see Julia on screen. We know she was backstage because she was part of Jordan Grace's funny little video with the rest of the women's roster.
Yep.
That day. So no injury angle. So I'm going to take that as a positive that whatever's going on is not like I'm going to be out for like multiple months. Maybe she's only going to be out for just a little while. Also interesting that she's also featured on the Stand and Deliver poster, along with Stephanie and Jada Parker of all people. So it's like that's another sign that they're really high on Jada Parker because she's featured on the poster for Stand and Deliver.
Yep.
So,
speaking about being on the cover, Tony's on the cover.
Yeah.
What are we doing with Tony? What are we doing with Tony, guys?
No surprise. Oba and Trick, no surprise. They should be on the cover.
But Tony was a surprise.
But Tony D'Angelo being also featured heavily on the Stand and Deliver poster, it also was like,
what are we doing here?
Yeah. Because
it looks more and more like Sean Spears and him are going to have another match
probably.
at Stand and Deliver.
And then I think Ricky's going to be coming for that North American Championship.
Can I say this about Ricky?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that finisher works for him.
The
on bigger
Rochambeau?
Guys. Because that was a little funny.
Yeah, no. Rochambeau works for guys like his size. I was surprised. I was like, oh my God, is he going to try to Rochambeau?
He did, and it was clunky as shit.
It was clunky as shit. So it's like you shouldn't be trying to do that against really big guys. It's like
1,000% big Ricky fans on this show.
Yeah, we love Ricky.
On a guy that big?
Yeah. But the stare downs, that's 2 weeks in a row he's had stare down with Spears. So once he's done with Tony and the family, Ricky's coming for the North American Championship, and I'm all for it. Because honestly, I don't think we expect Spears to be a long-term champion. I think this is more just kind of like thank you for your service kind of title reign.
It's like when Matt Cardona got his WrestleMania moment and then lost it to The Miz literally within 24 hours.
But Spears has made it clear, it's like he's there to just enjoy being wrestling and also help elevate people and help bring the young people up.
Is him and Breeze's school also part of the WWID?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Probably may eventually be. I would assume at some point because they both have got heavy ties to WWE right now. So, and I also forgot to mention his wife, formerly known as Peyton Royce, was there in attendance when he won the North American Championship 2 weeks ago.
I miss the Iconics. They're so fun.
Yeah, I miss the Iconics. But anyway, so yeah. I will take no injury angle for Julia as a positive sign that she's not going to be gone for too long. Because that's what I was worried about. I was like, how serious is it be? How long is she going to be gone? So, I mean, the fact that she was in the building, although not featured on TV, definitely means that hopefully that what's going on is not too serious. Maybe she just needs. Maybe she'll be back not long after Stand and Deliver. We'll see. So.
Stephanie, just so you know, word of the wise, you want to make NXT the best women's division on the planet? It already was, thanks to some other person that held the title not too far from you.
Well, she said, I think she was saying she wanted to be part of the best women's division and prove that she was the best, and now she has because she's double champ.
Yeah, but did she pin Roxanne for it?
No. But Roxanne was a double champ.
She didn't ever go for it.
Yeah.
She didn't need the NXT win.
I know
championship.
I'm just messing with you. I'm messing with you.
My point stands. Stephanie McClure ever pinned Roxanne for any title?
I'm surprised they haven't had Roxanne do a one-on-one with Stephanie. She's the only one of the big names that have come in that she hasn't had a one-on-one with yet.
Give it time. It's going to happen, but you don't just need to be like, all right, Roxanne, go lose to all the NXT women and then go. No.
Yeah, she's putting over a lot of people right now.
Putting over a lot of people.
On the way to the main roster.
Yeah.
Because that match with Jordan last week at Roadblock was great. And I love that Jordan paid respect. That look, hey, I beat Roxanne Perez, former NXT champion, last week. It's like that means I should be next in line for a title shot. Right. I'm like, yes, absolutely. Yes. You have if you can beat the Prodigy, you deserve to be at the top of the title shot list. It's like so. I like that she paid respect to Roxanne even though she beat her. It's like that's respect the prodigy. I like the fact that Jada Parker just came out of nowhere later out. I was like, that's who Jada Parker is. And although that she, that's her character. She's like in your face. She's, it's like, so this is going to be a big opportunity for her to shine is like against Stephanie next week. So Stephanie's doing double duty next week. She's defending both titles next week.
Yep.
In the opening and the main event. So she's going to open the show and she's going to close the show.
Fallon, right?
Yeah, her and Fallon are getting the main event slot. Her and Jada's match will open. So
okay,
she's obviously going to beat Jada. The question I have is she? I think it would be a mistake for her to drop all of a sudden the North American title back. Let her be double champ for a little bit, like Becky was, because Becky had both belts for a little bit, and she had both belts until Money in the Bank that year, and then she had to defend both in one night. She had to defend the Raw against Lacey Evans, which she did. But then Charlotte took advantage and wanted her match right afterwards. She took advantage. She beat Becky for the title. But it didn't last long because Bayley cashed in her Money in the Bank right afterwards and took it from Charlotte that night, which was awesome.
Right.
So even though Becky had got to be double champ for a little bit, she didn't just give up one of the titles. She fought. She tried to defend both titles, So I give props to Stephanie for doing the same and not just like, I don't need the secondary title. That's nice because she's paying respect that to both titles mean something. Like, even though she's got the NXT Women's Championship, that doesn't mean she's going to toss the Women's North American title to the side because she's got the big one. So, she's a fighter. It's like she said, I want to see who's going to step up. It's like, I got both titles here. I'm the best right now in this division. I'm at the top of the division. Who wants next?
Yep.
So I love it.
Yeah.
And I thought it was so sweet where she's like, English is not my first language. Wrestling is my first language. I thought that was awesome. I really liked that line. That was a great line. And she's really over, baby.
She's really over. Like I said, it's going to be fine, but because they're going to have to.
I don't know how they're going to resist. It's like, well, they haven't made it official, but the word is that they're going to do a draft after Mania, which will be the perfect excuse to call up, Roxanne and a bunch of other people from NXT.
Right. I just don't. They're not going to pull the trigger on Stephanie right now. They're just
no. As much I'm sure they would like to. I think both her and Julia wanted to be in NXT for this, to get their feet wet and work on their English. And both of them, their English is for both of them, their English has come along quite well. But I think it would be good for NXT to have them stay there throughout this year and get called up early next year. It's like you don't have to rush it.
No.
I mean, remember how people were like, when Braun, like everyone thought Braun was going to call up, and he stayed in NXT for like another year. And that ended up being a good thing because we got the Wolf Dogs. He got to really work on his mic skills and his character work. And so when he finally got up to the main roster, he's been crushing it ever since.
I know why he stayed in another year is because Vince was finally gone. So they're able to get back to being NXT, and they needed Braun to bring back the NXT.
Yeah, they needed Braun to help the division.
Right.
So now that Ricky is in NXT, it's more easier for Trick to exit out. And hopefully that also means Wesley's also going to get more spotlight as well.
And speaking about Trick, I am liking his character work right now.
Oh, his like no BS attitude. It's like he's like in tweener mode right now, where the fans still love him, but he's really acting like a a-hole right now.
He's basically what the Street Profits are like. They're not really a baby face, but they're not a heel. They're tweeners.
Yeah, Trick is like in tweener mode right now, teetering going heel. So we'll see what happens. Because like he's been disrespecting poor Javon pretty badly.
And I like the match itself between him and Eddie was okay, but the aftermath between him, Oba, Javon.
I was wondering. I saw that like they did the ring announcing and ring the bell with like 10 minutes left in the show. I'm like, okay, this match is probably not going to go long. It's like it was done in like 5 minutes. I was like, okay, they got something. Something's going to happen after this match. That's why this match is so short.
Yeah,
and they sure didn't cram it a lot in the last couple minutes there, with Oba and Javon coming out, and then Dark State showing up, and then all three guys in the ring just like beating the hell out of each other.
Yeah.
I love how Javon was like, he was out there to try to convince him, yo, let's take care of this Dark State shit. And both Trick and Oba were like, no, fuck. It's like fuck that. And he fought back and he laid out Oba with a cutter.
Yeah.
So it's like, he just did a triple threat. So recently, not too long ago, I don't think it's going to be triple threat. I think it's just going to be Oba Trick rematch at Stand and Deliver. Although maybe they'll have Trick Javon to see who gets Oba at Stand and Deliver is what I would assume.
Speaking about cutters, I really like the psychology in the Chelsea Green Soul Roca. I love that pacing in that match.
That was really well done. Chelsea did a good job of, even though Soul was going to beat her, Soul Roca got to look great.
Yes.
Yeah. And also Zarya got to look like a badass because she took care of Piper Niven and Elbow Fire without much trouble outside the ring.
Yeah.
Elbow Fire did a great job selling that spear from Zarya on the outside.
Yeah, she sort of like The Rock. You know how The Rock like sells a spear? Like, oh my god, I just broke all my ribs.
Right. Yeah, it's like so that was nice.
I still can't get behind Hank and Tank. I just can't.
They're trying.
I know.
It's like they're giving them a storyline. They're trying to help give them some character. I like that they're struggling. I like that they're losing and they're trying to like, okay, we keep losing. What are we missing? How can we get better?
Right.
That's at least something.
That's something. I'm all about Briggs and
Briggs and Uemura. I'll tell you.
They should. It's either them or North Quarter should dethrone Fraxian.
North Quarter Catch Crew should be the ones to dethrone Fraxian.
We literally just almost jinx each other.
I'd be happy with either one of those teams dethroning Fraxian.
Yeah. Speaking about teams, I enjoyed that little triple threat between the Coling and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that was a good match. The mixed 6-person tag that was good. Coling had to win. They're trying to get that group over.
Right, you have to get them over. I mean, the D'Angelo family, they're not going to get any. It's going to hurt Coling more.
That Tony getting attacked by Dark State distracted them. It's like that was.
Or was it Sean Spears? It's Dark State. There's a reason he's on the poster,
right?
On that, but other than that, Carmen's still being shown on, being featured on TV.
Yeah, definitely see something in her. They're working on her. It's like,
where does Eddie Thorpe go from here?
That's the question, because it's like Trick took him out in like 5 minutes of this underground match, so it's like.
They had that big ass strap match,
but they tried to get in as much as they could within like about 5 minutes, but it's like he lost. So we'll see where it goes. They kind of teased an alliance between him and Ridge in the back there, so I don't know if that. I think that's not just random, so that might lead to something. Maybe they form a tag team or something.
I don't know.
Maybe give something to give them both something to do.
Yeah,
tag division sure could use it. It's like
definitely can. What are they going to do with Ethan now? Since Javon's doing the whole.
That's a good question. I think we're going to get a little more clear picture of what kind of matches we're going to get at Stand and Deliver probably starting next week, especially once Stephanie deals with both her title matches. Because I'm wondering what's good. What do you think would be better? Just Stephanie versus Jordan straight up? Or them putting Jada on the poster?
Well, they might put Jada in there.
Triple threat?
Might do that. It depends on if they decide to bring Julia back.
Or do they do she defends both titles in one match? 2 falls, 1 for each belt.
Maybe. They might do that. I think it's a little overbooking, but it could work. Could work.
Because that way both titles are defended on Stand and Deliver.
Yeah, that's true.
Because she's not going to be double champ forever. It's like she
Right.
can't. It's like that's a bit much for. It's like it's cool for now, but that's not going to last for very long.
If
It's
Roxanne can't hold on to the title forever, no one can.
like,
They literally created a title because no one could beat her. Seriously,
it's
look it up.
interesting when Julia's going to come back. Yeah, it's like her being on the poster makes me wonder. It's like, is she going to be back by Stand and Deliver? I don't know.
But
That'd be
saying
shocking.
you, Jada, Stephanie, and Julie were on the poster.
Right. They wouldn't put Julie. It would be weird to have Julie on the poster if she's not going to be on the show in some capacity.
And the thing is that she just lost, so it'd be stupid for her to come back and then go after the NXT North American.
Right.
It just doesn't make sense.
No, the big money is the rematch between her and Stephanie for the NXT Championship, and she's going to get the big win over Stephanie back when that happens.
Correct. All right. Any other little nuggets before we wrap up here?
No, just I thought it was a decent show. It was just was hoping to see both Julia and the Prodigy. Kind of missed them both being on TV. You know.
Yeah. And then like, what are they going to do with Cora?
Yeah, where's Cora in the title picture?
I knew they weren't going to put her on there because she was doing with the Masa stuff.
Yeah,
so that makes sense.
Yeah,
but next week we should know where Cora's going to go now.
Yeah,
she's over with the TNA.
What are they going to have Cora do at Stand and Deliver? She's got to have something.
Yeah. So, well, all right. Well, Justin's always a pleasure talking a little. Talking we're wrestling for you all. AEW, don't kill your wrestlers, please.
Please don't.
It's kind of not something we're up for. We like the violence as long as it makes sense.
Yes.
But also we don't like the killing your wrestler violence either. Don't do that. Don't mankind 17 million chair shots in a row in an I Quit match. Please don't do that. That's a lot. I've never cringed. I've never had to turn something off since that I Quit match until last night, where I was like, nope, I can't.
Yeah.
Nope. It was just too. Ugh. Anyway, but thank you all so much for joining us. Giff, always a pleasure. Hey, if you let us know down in the comments below, what other wrestling matches do you think we're going to get at Mania? What matches do we want to get Stand and Deliver? How can Tony book? Anything you punch down below is probably going to help him out.
Yeah.
Although he is booking pretty well outside of the main event title picture. We haven't even seen the belt in like 4 months, by the way. I just want to throw that out there as well. But for anyone that follows along with us, what we got going on, we have March Madness is in full effect. Today was technically it wasn't the opening tip, but today was the opening tip. Hopefully your brackets are not busted. We've got our Bracket Bitches show coming on Monday to go over.
I was looking at some of the scores. Looks like there's already one high seed that's already been upset.
McNeese beat number 5 Clemson.
Yeah.
Earlier. Drake, that wasn't as high of a seed, but they beat Missouri. But other than that, it's been pretty chalky. Technically Creighton beat Louisville. It sucks. I know I'm a Louisville fan. But that was a 9 over an 8 seed. But those 8-9s, that's not enough.
Yeah, no, that's not no. When you're talking like 4 seed or higher going down in the first round, that's an upset.
Yeah. And then, we'll go over everyone's bracket on there. That's joined us down below in the Discord to join our bracket pool there. We'll be doing that on Monday. And then Wednesday, we'll be back doing our Rev Sports Wrap It Up to go over not only just March Madness, but all the other world of sports that are going on. And then you'll have Justin and I next Thursday for another edition of Ruckus Wrastlin. And then the first Friday in next month, Sol and I will be back going over our Rev Book Club as we're doing the Dungeon Crawler Earl. I believe I got that right. As we're going over that book as well. We love you all to join us on the Discord. Come on, join us on the show to give your opinion on the book and kind of discuss it with us. There, it's always a lot of fun there. And then, like we said, coming in April after the NFL draft, where Justin's going to be like, well, at least we have Josh Allen because we don't have anybody else. No, they have Khalil Shafir. They signed him back. I think Buffalo's going to be fine. But we're going to be going over the draft and how that draft impacts your fantasy teams going forward and how much.
These are not looking good for my Yankees, though, and spring trade's not even yet. So,
yeah. So
it's
gonna be fine. You don't need Garrett Cole. You don't need Juan Soto. You're fine. It's perfect. You've got Aaron. You've got
They'll
the
be
judge.
perfectly fine. Right.
You've got the judge. You're good. You moneyballed the shit out of your offseason. You didn't pay one guy, but you paid
we'll
4.
see if it pays off.
So, and I like the 4 that you signed. Those big 4 that you signed. I did like that. So we'll see what the Yankees do there. But as long as Aaron Judge doesn't bat 100 in the offseason like he always does, I think you'll be okay. But like, subscribe, hit the doorbell, all that fun stuff below. And Justin and I will be back next Thursday to go over, hey, we'll see what happens in the build to WrestleMania, Stand Deliver, and what's the AEW one for the fans at home, Justin, that they're building? Dynasty?
AEW, yeah. Dynasty's coming up.
And Tony, don't be an asshole. Let Sting induct Lex Luger.
Yes. Please let Sting induct Lex, please.
All right. Well,
Tony,
Justin, always a pleasure, and we'll see you all next time.